This is Aussie Mac Zone. We'll cover everything Apple, including Macs, iPhones, iPads, and more. All this from an Aussie perspective. Sit back, relax, and insert yourself into the zone. The Aussie Mac Zone.
Hello everybody, welcome to show 142, Aussie Mac Zone. Here with Garth. How we going, buddy?
G'day, Glenn. I nearly said Glenn.
Yes,
I was just thinking a minute ago. Haven't seen Glenn for a bit. Maybe we should get him on.
Yeah.
How are you, Michael?
I'm excellent, thanks, man. Excellent.
That's good. Better than Glenn, then.
Yes.
Since
Yeah,
you're not
rocking
here.
on. And don't forget, talking of our friend Glenn, we are brought to you by athwebhosting.com.au. Accepting PayPal, instant activation, auto setup, 24/7 ticket support, and starting at $5.95 per month when paid annually. So
Don't forget asterisk when paid annually.
yes. Story 1. Apple CEO Tim Cook sat down for an extended interview with NDTV while in India this week, and in it discusses the latest on Apple Pay negotiations, bringing Apple retail to India, and discussions with carriers and government officials while visiting. So, while noting several large investments Apple is announcing in India, including the opening of a new development office that will create 4,000 jobs, a new accelerator program for app developers, Cook also confirmed talks with Indian banks for Apple Pay and much more. So he sees a future retail in India, even though they're competing with low-cost Android devices. Another big topic for conversation throughout the interview was that of certified pre-owned devices. After recent reports that India officials rejected Apple's plans to sell refurbished phones in the country, Cook noted Apple still has ambitions to do so. It's certified pre-owned. It's like a new phone because it has warranty of a new phone. Yes, well, we'd like to do that here. We do in the US, we do it in Japan, we do in many different countries around the world. Now, Cook was also spotted visiting film sets and a cricket game while on his trip. So now he's becoming a real Aussie.
Funny that you turned up to a cricket game. He must have needed a bit of spare time. He must have needed a bit of, time with his, what's the word? Taken up officially so that he could do whatever he actually felt like rather than be part of some...
Yeah. So,
But we started talking about this last week, his trip over to India. Obviously, it's, that one of those BRIC countries that really need to... Well, they're really looking for an increase in volume sales, volume there.
Yeah.
Funny one about them having rejected initially the sale of the refurbished devices, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's to do with their how much is actually done in the country, isn't it? Like it's how much it's actually manufactured or refurbished in their country. They've got those funny rules.
Yeah, but would that be different between a refurbished and a new device, though? Is there any difference there? I would have thought it would apply to both devices, to one or the other.
Yeah.
So why would you be okay for a new device but not for a refurbished?
I honestly don't know the answer to that.
Anyway, I mean, Cook took the opportunity to...
Hang on. Just count to 10. You got a bit funny.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, you're back.
Remember that the audio, we've got both ends anyway, so it's all
Yep.
good. But just for the video, I suppose it's an issue.
Yeah.
In any case, Cook's had the opportunity to put over that really, we sell them in the US, we sell them pretty much everywhere else. What's the issue? To mention in the
because I don't
interview.
I don't understand why they're calling them refurbished phones anyway, when really I still think the only thing they're using is the logic board. So that's amazing. The glass is new, the outside's new, the back's new, maybe
new.
the cameras maybe they're reusing the cameras, but they're going to give you a quality product, aren't they? Realistically.
Yeah, you're getting a new casing, a new battery,
Yeah.
new, all that stuff's new.
Yeah.
Which is the main, if the logic board's still working, then the logic board's still working. It's not like it degrades, like your screen gets scratched, or the battery. The battery, you'd want a replacement of that. But otherwise, it's basically a new device.
Yes. Yeah.
Have you ever seen anything refurbished? I've never had the chance to do so.
Oh, well, I haven't used phones refurbished. I recommend people buy refurbished Macs because you're getting a discount and you're getting, like you say, you're getting new warranty. You can buy Apple Care on it. You're just getting a whole machine at discount. And I spend all my life, quote, refurbishing machines by putting new logic boards in them that have, been wet or have actually failed. Depends whether it's in warranty or in insurance. But that's what I do, and I don't get too many problems with, quote, second-hand boards that I put in machines.
Yeah. The logic board, you would sort of suspect that it's either working or it's not.
Yeah, and they test them pretty good before we get them. So.
Anyway, that's a bit of a side story, I guess, to the main thing that they're really trying to lift sales in India.
In India, yeah.
Make opportunities there, because it's the only way they're going to expand the market anymore and keep Wall Street happy is to find new markets, and pretty much all the ones they've got at the moment are fairly saturated.
Saturated, yeah. And I think India's a pretty big country, and it can only get bigger, can't it? As people become.
I've heard it's rather large. Yeah, there's quite a few people there, as I understand.
Yeah.
So
as the middle class grows, so will Apple.
Exactly, and once again, they've reiterated the assertion that they're not playing for the low end market. No. That's not where they're going. No intention. Okay, leave that for other devices, other manufacturers. We'll take them the middle and the upper end of the market where there's more margin and continue to make some money.
Where there's actually a profit. Get out.
No, who would have thought that you would want to run a company like that?
Yeah.
They must be doomed, I'd say.
Yeah, obviously gone. Apple never wants you to leave its new store. So Time reports the newest Apple store highlights the future of one of the world's most successful retail operations. So five elements make up.
Is that a Freudian slip there? Five white elephants? No, yes. I don't know. Back to the story.
Sorry. 5 elements make up the future of Apple's retail operation, Arendts said, calling the Union Square shop the first largest global flagship and the future of what you'll see going forward. Each facet is part of a grand town square metaphor, starting with the avenue, an open area of what she called little boutiques where people can stroll around just as they might through the surrounding stores in Union Square. Apple has created a new position called a Creative Pro. I can go downhill from there, but to staff these areas, billing them as artsy spins on the genius who won't just tell you the specs of the latest iPhone's camera, but might explain backlighting and the rule of thirds. The second area is the boardroom, a meeting place that Arendts describes as a home for the thousands of aspiring entrepreneurs and startups that overfloweth in San Francisco, potentially helping Apple strengthen its ties to small business. The third is Apple's new take on the Genius Bar, those areas where customers can go to get help with their hardware and software. It's called a Genius Grove, and all the significant stores will have them, and these groves will be lined with actual trees with leather sheets wrapped around their bases, no less. Interesting what they're doing there, but I thought they already had that in Bondi. The fourth feature is what Apple is calling the Forum, a sleek open take on a classroom where a musician might lead a workshop on sound editing or a developer might come talk shop with other app makers. Attendees will have the choice of sitting on wooden boxes, leather boxes, or leather balls, and there won't be hard rules about showing up to class on time, even if there is strictly whimsical seating available. And the next generation, they just want to flow. They want to come and go as they want, Red said. They don't want a formal presentation. And the final tweak will only be shared by the most significant stores, a public plaza open 24/7 with promises of free Wi-Fi and live acoustic music every week.
Very acoustic.
Yeah. But they did have... I haven't seen it for a while, but they did have music every week at the Sydney store, and I'm sure they did at others as well.
I'm sure a lot of these concepts have been used in other stores so far. They're just sort of crystallizing them into a plan, I guess,
Yeah.
Probably parts of them being used here, there, and everywhere. But how many stores could have all of those elements? They mentioned that only certain stores would have the plaza, the 24-hour a day thing. But you would think even the rest of those elements. I'm telling you now that my local mall Apple store will not be getting a grove of trees with leather couches around them anytime soon.
They might just have a little planter box there in the middle for you.
Well, that's right, with a rather attractive pot plant in it. Yeah, yes. That'd be about it.
But it's also got the new store's got a very, very tall, more than 2-story, even though it is only a 2-story building, glass sliding doors at the front that open up and welcome you in. But and they leave them open, but I don't know what they're going to do when it's wet. You're going to have to use the side door or something, I suppose, when the rain's coming from that direction.
I know. Unusual, isn't it? Like, you've got 2 great big glass doors that go all the way to the ceiling.
Yeah.
I guess you're either going to leave them open, It's not very environmental though, is it, for the air conditioning?
No.
Imagine all the air conditioning just pouring out there. No, but it would be spectacular. You'd love to go and see that store, wouldn't you?
Yes, yeah, it's a good looking store.
How much space have they got, like, in Sydney, in the Bondi store? Firstly, what's the biggest store we have in Australia?
Oh, I couldn't tell. I would have said the Sydney store is pretty big. And also the... no, it's only single level. There's another store I've been to that's only single level. But, yeah, the Sydney store is pretty big because it's on 3 levels.
Okay, yeah.
So,
it is pretty large.
Yeah.
I know.
It's probably 3 times the size of Rabina, for example, just to give you an idea.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't be hard to be 3 times the size of Rabina. Yeah, it would be nice to see some of those features, though. Can you imagine a 24-hour plaza where you can jump in and grab a coffee or whatever as well? You would hope there'd be a coffee vendor there for sure in no time flat.
Well,
you can't have free Wi-Fi and not sell coffee.
The Sydney store's next door to McDonald's, so maybe they'll patch into their Wi-Fi and get the free coffee from there. Or something.
No, well, come on. To kick McDonald's out and get someone a little bit more upmarket in there.
Yes. So, our third story, while we're rocking on, Apple shares spike amid bullish iPhone 7 report. Suppliers follow.
Can I just stop? Hang on. No, sorry. Finish your story. All
right. Shares of Apple rose more than 1% Monday after Taiwan's Economic Daily reported the tech behemoth asked its suppliers to make more iPhone 7s than expected. The newspaper said Monday Apple asked suppliers to produce between 72 and 78 million iPhones by the end of the year, above Wall Street expectations of 65 million. Also, Apple's top Taiwanese suppliers have started mass hirings, with the reports in Taiwan that the companies were recruiting staff in preparation for building the iPhone 7 series. Now, what are you going to bash me for? Are you there? Hello.
Oh. Sorry, you just can't hear me. Damn.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay, tell me when I'm back.
Yeah, you're back. Yep.
Okay, I'm not going to bash you. It's the headline.
Yeah.
Spike. More than 1%. It's as ridiculous as all the stories about Apple being doomed. It's just like, oh, we've got some rumors about some rumors, and we're going to do something. It's just, oh, give me a break. Okay, yeah, there was a bit of there's a bit of increase in the Apple stock, a whole %, which I guess is not insignificant, but on the rumors, they've rumored to ask more than they are rumored to have asked previously.
That's right.
than what we expected they should ask.
Yeah.
There's a rumor that they've asked more than what we would expect they should ask for.
So if
Really?
these people knew what they were talking about, they would say they've been asked to produce this amount of phones, not between this and this.
Oh,
If it was someone really in the know, you'd imagine that they've gone, we want X amount of phones, not between A and B. Like, just, yes, I see what you mean, but... hey.
And, well, not just that, just like, Wall Street thought they should need 65 million, but, we think they've maybe asked for 72 to 78, so there's a spike.
Yeah.
I mean, the word spike applied to 1% increase is just ridiculous for a start. But it's, it's the same old story with Apple News. It's either all doom or all glory.
Yes.
And there's no in between.
So,
yeah. And guess what? They're hiring people to ramp up production for a new phone. Really? They're going to hire some more people?
yeah, well, what happened to the people that put last year's phones together?
Oh, we don't talk about those.
They've gone back to school because they can afford it now. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, and also, now if they order 66 million, does that mean they're not up to they're doomed because they're not up to Wall Street's new expectations, even though Wall Street now only expected 65?
Correct. That's exactly right. And we'll see that headline too. Huge decrease in Apple orders.
Yeah.
and the stock will go down by 2% and it will have plummeted.
All right. So you can't.
Oh dear, sorry.
You can't.
Yeah, I guess maybe. I'm out of red wine, so probably not actually, no.
So Apple will exchange your bricked iPad Pro. So following reports...
There you go.
Yes.
What did I tell you last week?
Following reports that some iPad Pros have been bricked in the latest iOS update, Apple pulled the update for Pro users and will replace the iPad at an Apple store. So you just go in, say, here it is not working, and they go, sorry, here's a new one. See you later.
Exactly.
Simple as that. No questions asked.
See, I didn't even realize that wasn't official. Last week when we were speaking about, the update, I said, I'm sure if you experience Area 65, just go into the Apple store and they'll swap it over.
Yes.
And there you go. They will.
They will, yeah. I think they just had to prove that was an error, and then bang. Once you could prove it was, not your fault in any way, then Apple are happy to quite happily to charge it. So.
How bad? Here you go.
That's as simple as that. That's Apple are very good at. So, a couple of quick stories. Google I/O has been on all week, and they've been talking about different things. Last week with their two new messaging. I don't quite understand two new messaging apps. I think because one's video and one's audio.
It's iMessage and FaceTime.
Yeah. Okay.
No, seriously, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It literally is iMessage and FaceTime. With a few extra...
Hang on. Time out. Try it again. Not quite. Yep.
Just keep talking until I come back.
Yeah. There.
With a few extra features.
Yeah. So we've got another bit of the news was Android Smart Save. Blah 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 blah. Android smartphones suffer from significantly higher failure rates than iPhones.
And value rates.
I'm having a roll tonight. According to the report, the failure rate for Android devices was 44% compared to only 25% for iOS devices. Of the Android devices, the Samsung Galaxy S6, the Galaxy S5, and the Lenovo K3 Note suffered from the highest failure rates, while for iOS it was the iPhone 6 and 5S. But I would have thought 25% was pretty massive for an iOS device, so I'm not really taking all of these figures as correct.
No, none of those figures sound terribly accurate. The only part of the story that sounds accurate is that more Android devices have issues than iPhones.
That's right, yeah.
But 25%, maybe of iPhone 6s, like the highest particular phone, the highest rate was 25%, but even that...
That's a massive number. That's a massive
Yeah. I guess it comes down to what do they class as a issue. Now, if dropping the phone and having it smash is an issue, is part of a failure rate, then yeah, but that shouldn't be classified.
No, because
it's not a failure at that
from
point.
previous experience, I know that we're talking like less than 2% failure rates.
Maybe they forgot the decimal.
So
2.5.
Yeah, that'd be closer, right? What I believe what it is for Apple stuff.
Yeah, totally.
25%
It's
is
just
far too much.
What they're counting, how they're counting that number, I guess, is where it comes to. And I can't imagine how they could count the number in a way that made it that high.
No.
Even for the Android devices, to be fair.
Yeah.
And speaking just back to the Google news.
Yeah.
One quick thing. How do you feel about that Google Home or whatever they're calling it? The Android, the Amazon Echo.
Yeah. But
let's use some inflammatory name and call it the Echo Killer, because that's the sort of thing they'd do with an Apple product.
Yeah.
So let's call it that. But yeah, how do you feel about that sort of a product? Is that something you'd be interested in?
Well, I'm actually trying to make time to make my HomeKit set up using Raspberry Pi, because they've got a hack version of HomeKit, so that I can still ask Siri to do all my work for me. So, I'd be interested in it, but I still haven't got a lot of lights and all that sort of stuff. So,
yeah, but it's not just your HomeKit sort of stuff, is it? It's Google. It's like having Siri on tap, I guess, but probably better, to be fair.
I'm very happy. I'm a very happy Siri person. So.
Yeah, well, this is true. Okay, there's stuff that there's different classes of things they can do, I guess. But yeah, no, it is a device, I must admit, that interests me.
Yeah.
That so I would like to see Siri in a speaker box like that, I think.
Yeah.
With some of the smarts of the search
but
stuff.
But you forgot that.
Good.
You can just say, if you go and put your phone on a stand in the room and go, "Hey Siri, what time is it?" or set a timer for 50 seconds, or because once it's on the stand, it'll do what you like.
Yeah, but mine should do that even without the stand.
Yeah,
because it's a success.
Yeah.
Hey Siri. Oh, she listened. Hello, how are you? She listened.
Oh, you've gone away again for a minute. You must.
Okay.
That's because you used the Wi-Fi. You're not back yet. Okay, try that.
No.
Nearly there.
No, she's...
There you are, you're back.
Doesn't matter. Next story. Moving on anyway.
Yeah.
Siri wasn't really listening to me very well.
So no sooner did we get our updates than Apple drops new betas for OS X 10.11.6, iOS 9.3.3 and tvOS 9.2.2. So Apple on Monday released previews of the next iterations of its OSs, handing out beta versions of its popular desktop, mobile and set-top box operating systems to registered developers. So, you going to get those?
No, I'm not a registered developer. I just get the public betas.
Yeah.
And, as usual, they put out the developer version first to iron out some of the bugs, I guess. And then, we'll get the public beta versions of those in a couple of weeks, I imagine.
Yeah, well, developers should be allowed to get their apps to work and not suffer some big embarrassment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not that there should be anything like that in these sort of updates so close to WWDC anyway.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought there'll be fairly minor updates, just sort of security fixes and things like that, I imagine.
Yeah. So don't forget Aussie Tech Radio, www.aussietechradio.com, the Aussie Tech Security Podcast, and Aussie Tech Heads Podcast. Just keep those in the back of your mind. The boys there to look after us.
The back of your mind and the front of your playlist.
Exactly right. Beautiful. Well said. Yeah, because they've got those Aussie Tech Head guys and Two Blokes Talking Tech or Linking Edge, Your Tech Life, just to name a couple there.
There you go.
Yeah. So Touch ID asking to unlock more often. Have you had that?
No, I haven't, but I saw this one. Yeah. The story.
The passcode can always be used instead of Touch ID and is still required under the following circumstances. The device has just been turned on or restarted. The device has not been unlocked for more than 48 hours. The device has received a remote lock command. That's so if you'd lost it and then found it again. Or after 5 unsuccessful attempts to match a fingerprint. Or when setting up or enrolling new fingers with Touch ID. And there's a new one. The passcode has not been used to unlock the device in the last 6 days, and Touch ID has not unlocked the device in the last 8 hours. So if you put it on charge and have a really good sleep, so that's another reason. So that's just a new rule to do with Touch ID. If people think that they're actually getting to be asked more often to use.
So this has been the case for the iOS 9 entirety, I think, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that I would ever have come through because that last one there, the 6 days and 8 hours, 6 days of no, I don't think that would ever have happened to me. There's always some time at which I've restarted the device within the 6 days. So it's only after it's been more than 6 days without putting in your passcode that the 8-hour clock starts to tick. So I don't know if I've been struck with that one.
No, just an unusual new rule, isn't it? The 8 days bit.
Yeah. Yeah, 8 hours, 6 days, 8 hours. Yeah. So all those devices that they've been holding in, any device being held in a police station waiting for some court case will certainly require a passcode.
What's your job? Oh, mine's to keep the phone awake.
Yeah, that's right.
So, we were just talking about Siri, but you can use Siri to send emails if people are aware. So you say, "Hey Siri," or activate it using the home button. Tell Siri to send an email and to whom. So, for example, send an email to Donna. If a contact has more than one email, Siri will ask you which one to use. You can also tell Siri to send an email to multiple recipients. So send an email to Donna and Sarah. So Siri will prompt you for the subject, and you can say, travel plans, and next, Siri, the content of the email. Wait for Siri to confirm. If you want to change anything, say change subject or add or change message. And if you're satisfied, say yes or tap and it'll send it. So you can do, that's another trick while driving. If you just need to reply, or if something comes into your head, even if you want to, so you don't actually have to write anything down, or if you don't want to use your notes and reminders, you can just send yourself an email.
Send a message. Oh. Send an email.
To whom should I send your message?
Cancel. Send an email to Michael.
Right, send it.
Hey Siri, send an email to Michael. Thinking. Okay. That's not going so well. Let's try one more time. I'll lock the screen. Hey Siri, send an email to Michael.
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
Oh, you silly girl. Okay. All right.
Hang on.
Okay. Sorry.
Hey
Cut
Siri,
that out of the audio.
send an email to Garth. Oh, yeah, that's right. Thinking, because I haven't got any Wi-Fi on at all. I've turned it on in my house. She's having a good think. Geez, it's a bad demo tonight, isn't it? She's still thinking.
It's the glory of audio editing. We can take it out. Video. This is Siri.
And we've got. Here we go. It's got the Hey Siri. Send email to Garth. So, just while we're waiting for her, comes back, Hey Siri.
No.
Siri pronouncing something wrong. To teach Siri how to say a name correctly, hold the home button to activate Siri, then say, that's not how to pronounce Sarah, for example. Siri will then ask you how to pronounce the contact's first name. Say the name correctly. Siri will offer you 3 pronunciation options to choose from. Select the one that is correct. If none of the options is close enough, tap Siri, tell Siri again. Tap Tell Siri again, that's another button, to repeat the process until you get a pronunciation you like. And these are courtesy of iPhone Life. Hey Siri, send email to Garth.
Hi.
Send email to Garth. Thinking. Upset it, haven't I?
Yeah. And see, half of my problem was the initial saying the wrong thing. And that's one of my problems with using Siri, is getting the words right.
Yes.
Like, I meant to say message, but email, but I sent message.
Yeah.
I couldn't find Garth in your contacts. To whom shall I send it?
There you go.
So
she looked hard.
Yes. Send to Michael. So she's having another think.
She's on this go slow tonight.
Yeah. And it's got set, so she hasn't picked up the right one. My pronunciation's not there.
I'm going to give it one more go.
You go.
Hey Siri, send an email to Michael.
Which Michael? Michael and Amy's Anarchus, or Michael Siemens?
Michael Siemens.
Which email address for Michael Siemens? Home, other, or other?
Home.
What's the subject of the email?
Great show tonight.
What would you like your email to say?
I really wish this is how the demo went first time through. New line. Regards, Garth, new line. But I actually thought I said something.
20% battery. 20% battery remaining. 20% battery remaining. Low power mode. Close. Button.
Got a low power mode notification midway through that. Okay. And then I've got a send button.
Yep.
So how about we just cancel that though?
Okay. Send this.
There you go.
There you
So that's
go.
how it should work if you get your verbiage correct.
Yes.
And you don't
Wording
get
is-
a low power mode notification midway through.
Wording is very important with Siri. Yes.
It is, yeah.
So,
But you can see that it worked pretty well once you'd woken up.
yeah. Yeah. She definitely works while you're driving along quite well.
Mm.
You know, I've only got 4G because I got my Wi-Fi turned off, making sure that had nothing to do with our show issues, and I'm going between 1 and 2 bars on a 4G network, so
Oh, that it would, yeah.
that
Yeah.
makes a difference too. One
Yeah.
bar's not really a working data signal.
No. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm on 3G as well, 4G as well, but I've got 3 bars, so it worked a lot better. Yeah.
All right, my friend. I've run out of things to say. How about you?
I've never run out of things to say, but I've probably run out of things I should say.
So,
No, I think that's a show for tonight.
yes. Well done. Thank you. Thanks everyone for turning up.
Yeah, thanks for listening. We'll see you same bat time, same bat channel next week.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Bye bye.
Same.